After years of waiting, the romhack Platinum Kaizo was finally released last month. The game takes the original Pokemon Platinum and makes it insanely challenging. It might be the hardest Pokemon game ever created, which is saying something, because these games have gotten pretty crazy the last couple of years. At the same time, the hack is a follow-up to the legendary Emerald Kaizo, which is one of my favorite games ever made. As you can expect, I was extremely excited to play its sequel. So, does the game live up to the hype? The short answer is yes, it absolutely does. In this video, I want to explain how the game works and describe what happened during my first ever Nuzlocke attempt of it. If you enjoy this content, I stream this whole run on my Twitch page, so feel free to follow me on there and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get into Platinum Kaizo. The game opens the same as how I remember it, with Barry barging into my room. The difference is the intro cutscenes are a lot faster here. Before you know it, I'm forced to pick a starter. All of them are good in this game, but I immediately knew I was going with Piplup since I've used Turtwig and Chimchar a lot more in the past. Besides, Empoleon is Water Steel, and that's an amazing type combination. The first fight of the run is against my rival, and it's surprisingly difficult. If I lose here, it actually counts as a wipe, and I definitely came close. Thankfully, I beat Barry, and my reward is getting to see my starter's IVs in nature. They are really freaking bad, with most of the IVs being in the single digits. At least the bold nature helps my Penguin's defense, but being minus attack sucks, since Empoleon has been changed to mainly be a physical attacker in this game. Oh well, this is only the first attempt. I grab some rare candies and meet up with Professor Rowan, who asked me to nickname my Piplup. I went with the Final Fantasy nickname theme this run, so of course this guy is going to be Cloud. And now it's time to get some encounters. My very first one is a 5% Sandshrew in Sand Gym Town, which is a great Pokemon for the upcoming gym leader. Then I pick up Bidoof, Speel, Venonat, and Farfetch'd. These are okay encounters, but they're not great. Well, except for their IVs and natures. Like Venonat is plus speed, Sandshrew has very high defense, and my Farfetch'd is literally max attack with a lonely nature and 31 IVs. I don't know why I got this lucky, but I'll take it. I use my new encounters to clear out some easy trainers and make my way to Jubilife City. Now I get even more guys, such as Goldeen, Meowth, and my personal favorites, Rhyhorn, and a 4% Chikorita. I'm a big Meganium fan, so getting this was a treat. Jubilife is the first place that's scary in the game, and it's all thanks to these three clowns. Their gimmick is their teams have Metronome, and if they get lucky enough with the move, they can easily kill one of your Pokemon. But I have the Farfetch'd of Legend, who is so strong that he's able to one-shot most of the demons with Brick Break. Next up is the second rival fight against Barry. His team can be annoying because of his Crush Claw Slackoth and his bulky Turtwig. However, Rhyhorn walls out most of his guys, and Farfetch'd just deletes the Turtwig with Poison Jab. Sorry Barry, better luck next time. From here, I fight some more trainers as I get closer and closer to the first gym leader. I find the first repel in the game, and the interesting thing about the item is I can actually use it to delay the Orberg gate encounter. But if I do this, I need to fight the two trainers there using the same team in a gauntlet. Otherwise, the repel will run out as I head back to the Pokemon Center, and I can't get another one until I beat Rourke. The reason I want to delay this encounter is if I come back once I have Rock Smash, I am guaranteed one of these 7 Pokemon. Some of them are really good, mainly Aeron and Spinarak. Oh yeah, Platinum Kaizo changed the stats of some Pokemon, so now Ariados is incredibly useful. It's kinda crazy, because this guy usually sucks. I evolved Bidoof into Bibarel, and used my superior stats to beat the two trainers at the gate, allowing me to enter Orberg City. This unlocks more routes, where I pick up a Magby and a Phanpy. It's now time for the Orberg Gym, that is in a permanent sandstorm, meaning most Pokemon take 1/16 damage at the end of turns, and rock types have boosted special defense. The first trainer here is a little difficult. His lead Aeron has spikes, and in this game, hazard moves have priority, so there's not much you can do to avoid it. This makes a lot of fights more challenging than you'd expect, and to make things even harder, almost every single boss fight leads with the hazard setter. Aside from the Aeron, this guy has a Machop that was pretty hard for my box to take down, since it has good coverage, and I can't one-shot it. And then I got unlucky with this Anorith clicking Bug Bite into my Prinplup switch. I'm now dead if he crits me the next turn. Nothing else in my team can beat this, so I sadly need to risk my starter's life here. Weeball. Don't do it. Yes! Okay. Oh my god, that was terrible. Man, that was a close call. Thankfully, the other trainer is a piece of cake, and the only thing standing between me and my first gym badge is Rourke. This guy is really tough. He has an incredibly bulky team that doesn't have much counterplay at this point in the game. He also has risky AI, which is a mechanic where the opponent is more likely to click annoying moves like Ancient Power and Explosion on you. This is what makes his leap scary, because if it gets the Omni Boost with AP, you probably lose. Then there's the Sandville Gibble, who is extremely hard to one-shot, and his ability means even your 100% accuracy moves can sometimes miss him. But his biggest threat is the Cranidos, who has Stab 150 base power head smash that has been buffed to 100% accuracy. It basically one-shots every single Pokemon you have who doesn't resist rock moves. Rourke is a brutal boss fight. I've seen many people wipe to him, and I was extremely nervous heading into the battle. I lead with Cloud against the Bonsly, and immediately switch him out into Sephiroth because I just want him to get experience for a level up and not take damage. The AI sets up Stealth Rocks, and I retaliate with Dig. I usually don't two-shot the Bonsly, but he actually takes damage from my ability Rough Skin, which lets me kill him the following turn while still being healthy. This causes Sephiroth and Cloud to level up to 17. The Laleep comes in next, and I just have to pray he clicks Giga Drain on Tifa, which he thankfully does. Now if you're wondering why a Flying type is my Laleep counter, I really didn't have anything better unless I took the Orb Obsidian counter for a Grimer or something. But I wanted to greed for another Rock Smash delay, although that was probably a mistake in hindsight. I underestimated how much damage Tifa would take after Rocks, Giga Drain, and Sandstorm, so I discovered that I'm just dead to most Ancient Power rolls the next turn. I definitely wish I pre-damaged and gave Tifa an Oranberry right now. I desperately need the Laleep to low roll me. Wow. Okay, I think I lose. We're holding the leak, so we're 1 in 8 to crit. I don't think I get that lucky, though. We get a high roll, though. That's a pretty high roll. Super low roll, please. Don't boost. That's not good. That crit puts me in a terrible scenario. Almost nothing else on my team does enough damage to finish off the Laleep, and he's going to heal back a massive amount with Giga Drain on everyone here, because they're all weak to grass. My only option is to pray that Cloud hits a range on Aqua Cutter. I really did not expect the fight to immediately go this poorly. I'm probably going to lose. You need to like get a decent roll, man. I don't think low roll does it. Oh my god. Okay, we're still in this. We're still in this. For the second time, Cloud saves the run. To my delight, Gibble is baited in, because when deciding who to send out, the AI first looks for any Pokemon with a super effective move on me, and Gibble has Thunderfang to use against Prinplup. This works out in my favor, because Cloud was always my counter to this demon. After the level up, I always one-shot the Gibble with the Roar Beam, which in this game can never miss. But I'm not out of the woods yet. Rourke sends in Cranidos, who has some weird AI, where he can always click Head Smash on me, unless he has a kill with one of his weaker moves. In that case, he'll never click Head Smash. But because Cloud is still very healthy, due to the fight deviating from my original plan, he Head Smashes Zell and instantly nukes it. I'm once again in a terrible situation. I now need to go Sephiroth and dodge a crit to chip in with Dig. And then I probably die the next turn and need to dodge another crit with Phanpy. Okay, that's not good, I think. No, that's definitely not good. Live, okay. Crit? Wait, yo, oh my god, he's insane. Wait, he just saved himself. Sephiroth saves himself for the crit. Screw you, Rourke, I can do it too. From here, the rest of the fight is much easier. The Corsair is usually an issue to deal with, but Auron is the perfect counter to it. His ability Dry Skin makes him immune to Water Pulse, so the only damaging move Corsola has on me is Rollout, that in this game has been changed to always be 40 base power, but it's now a priority move. And the AI only has 5 PP, so I can never lose this matchup. I drop his defenses with Rock Smash to avoid him stalling me out with Recover, and then I get the KO with Dig. Rourke's last Pokemon is Shuckle, and my best counter to it is Sid. This guy is way too tanky to beat with attacking moves, so my plan is to Toxic him, and then spam Headbutt to fish for flinches until the poison kills him. Shuckle is cursed to become even more powerful and offensive, but Sid is the ability Unaware, where I completely ignore these stat buffs. But even with these advantages, I can still lose this matchup, because I get hit with multiple Sand Tombs that chip me at the end of every turn, in addition to the continuous Sandstorm damage. And I only get one flinch with Headbutt, which is really bad. It's coming down to the wire, and I don't know if Sid will survive. I need you to hold for like 2 more turns, man. Flinch? I think I just need like 1 more. Just flinch, dude, please. Do I live this? I don't know. same amount, please? Sid holds on at 1 HP, and I win the fight with just 2 deaths. That was an insane battle that I believe I played well, aside from the far-fetched. The first gym badge is all mine. With Rourke defeated, I can use Rock Smash outside of battles and get my encounters. Before I do, I theorize what would be the 2 worst ones to get. I guess Bonsly and Lediba, or Bonsly and Machop. So I'm probably gonna get those. First, I Rock Smash in the Orberg gym and get a Bonsly. And then at the gate, I get Machop. Life is so unfair, man. I learned that Bonsly at least evolves during the split, but Machop doesn't become a choke until level 48, after the 4th gym leader. I know Machamp is amazing, because his ability No Guard means his moves always hit, but he won't be able to help me out for so long. On the bright side, I get one of the best Pokemon in the game from a guaranteed trade, Chestnut the Macargo, who is absolutely cracked in Platinum Kaizo due to having a useful typing, a great ability in Solid Rock, perfect IVs in every stat, and an amazing moveset such as Recover and 90 base power Fire Spin. This guy is the most important Pokemon in your box for the early game. He is so powerful. If you didn't have to manage your EXP to avoid overleveling, he would come to every single fight. After leveling up my box, I get some useful evolutions like Seeking and Sandslash. I also pick up some new encounters, including Spoink, Cascoon, and Spearow. I love Grumpig as a Pokemon, but I was disappointed to see her here because I already have Mr. Mime as a Psychic type, and I felt like Weezing or Muck will be better for the Grass-type gym leader. But I can't complain too much because Psychic is my favorite type, and getting 2 of them this early is pretty rare in these difficulty hacks. This split introduces the player to Team Galactic, and the first couple of fights against them are pretty simple, although they get more complicated when I reach Valley Windworks. These fights are all double battles, and they can be annoying to plan for because the AI chooses who to send out by randomly basing it on one of my 2 Pokemon. This makes the battles a little unpredictable, but I still managed to beat them without losing anyone. Surprisingly, Freya the Sudowoodo came to all of them, and she was really helpful. Her massive defense stat and rock typing kinda made her feel like a second Macargo. And she gets access to Brick Break, which is fantastic, because fighting type moves beat a lot of annoying Pokemon. At the end of Valley Windworks is the next boss battle against Commander Mars, and it's a doozy. It's another double battle, and like Rourke, it's in a permanent sandstorm. I have a lot more counterplay against her team, but it's still challenging, since half of her Pokemon can dodge most of my attacks due to Sandville or Bright Powder. The scariest Pokemon is the Swords Dance Gligar, who I can't one-shot with the Roar Beam because its item, the Yachi Berry, reduces the power of super effective Ice-type moves. If she gets off multiple Swords Dances, or some crits, I can easily lose. It took a lot of planning, but I came up with the team I believed in and entered the fight. Mars leads with Hippopotas and Skarmory against my Chestnut and Reno. I switch Reno into a Dia to stall a turn, as though Hippopotas clicks Protect, and Skarmory gets his rocks off. My Chestnut clicks Fire Spin to take down the bird. It's 50-50 for the AI to send out Purugly or Gabite, and it chooses Gabite. By the way, a lot of my Pokemon are asleep this fight, but don't worry about it. This is pre-sleeping, where my Pokemon are asleep at the start of fights, but they're going to immediately wake up when I click a move. This is actually a mechanic in most Pokemon games the player can use to play around status. Back to the battle. Even though Earthquake is 4 times super effective against Chestnut, the AI usually does not like to click it during this fight, especially if it can hurt their partner. The only time it's guaranteed to use the move is if it has a kill on someone. And due to my ability Solid Rock, Chestnut is never dead to EQ, so Gabite protects, as Dia kills the Hippo, baiting in Purugly. I switch Dia into Freya, who can wall out the cat, while it fakes out my Chestnut. Meanwhile, Gabite fails to protect. This is an awkward position to be in, because I wanted to burn either Gabite or Purugly with Will-O-Wisp, and right now neither are statist. I click Will-O-Wisp into the Gabite, and he protects for the 3rd turn in a row, while Purugly thankfully misses an Iron Tail. Freya is able to chip it with Brick Break, but I still really want to burn the Gabite. I decide to swap Freya back into a Dia, who takes an Iron Tail, as I finally land a Will-O-Wisp on Gabite, who tries to protect again. Maybe I should have burned the Purugly in retrospect. It probably wouldn't have taken me 4 turns. The Gabite is no longer a threat, with her attack cut in half and refusal to click Earthquake. I do some pivoting around on the Purugly before I finally kill it with Fire Spin. Mars sends in the scary Gligar, and I choose to double switch into Renoa and Reno as he sets up a Swords Dance. Neither of my Pokemon are dead to crits, however Rock Slide Flinch on Reno can be really bad for me here. I decide to fully fire into the Gligar, using Magical Leaf and Aurora Beam to bypass Sandvale and KO it. This is what happened. I think that's more damage into Mime. Yeah. Live? Wait, why did that do no oh wait, was that Gabite? Oh man, it's so over! We got this, okay. I didn't realize he could, oh my god. That was 100% risk-free because both those moves always hit. That was so clean. He never even got to attack me. All that's left is the useless Gabite and Bright Powder Soul Rock, who I'm able to cleanly beat with Renoa's Magical Leaf and Freya's Feint Attack. And with that, my victory is secured as Renoa takes down the Gabite. I think I came up with a really great strategy for that battle, and I'm happy it went well with no one dying. With Mars in the rearview mirror, I start thinking ahead to the upcoming showdown with Gardenia, the second gym leader. I realize that my current box isn't good enough to win, so I decide to do a Repel Manip on Route 205. This is a technique where I use a Repel to move lower leveled Pokemon from an encounter table to increase the odds of getting higher level ones. On this route, it gives me a 50% chance of getting one of the Nidos, who will help me with Gardenia's Rotom. Let's see it. Arbok is total ass. Don't get me wrong, Intimidate is like the best ability ever, but this guy's strongest stab move this split is Poison Sting, while Muck and Weezing get Sludge Bomb. Is this a joke? Why is this guy so terrible? Route 205 is where the regular trainers ramp up in difficulty. The very first one leads with a Quick Claw risky AS C-Dot, who knows Explosion, meaning there's a chance he Quick Claw booms on me. Then there's a Picnicker, whose Guts Teddiursa is carrying a Flame Orb, has crazy good coverage, and knows Bulk Up to become even more difficult to take down. To beat these fights, it helps to understand how the Generation 4 AI chooses what Pokemon to send out next. I already explained that the AI looks if they have a super effective move on you, but what happens if that applies to multiple Pokemon on their team? Well, in that case, it goes with the one who has the best type matchup on you. For example, on this fight, after beating Breezel at Sid, the AI sees that Beautifly Giga Drain and Shinx Thunderfang are both super effective on me. It goes with Shinx because the electric type is super effective on me as a normal water type, whereas Beautifly's bug and flying typing is not. I use this to my advantage here because Sid is faster than Shinx and kills it in one hit, unlike his matchup into Beautifly. But what if no move is super effective on you? Then the AI enters step 2, which is really weird. It looks at what Pokemon does the most damage possible to you, and it actually determines this using the damage calculator, unlike step 1, that was solely based on typing. For some reason, the calculation uses the same Pokemon I just beat, but gives them the other Pokemon's moves. I don't know why it does this, but trust me, I'm not wrong. Take this fight, where after defeating Gulpin with Sephiroth, the trainer sees that he has Munchlax and Hoot Hoot in the back. He calculates how much damage Gulpin does with Munchlax's Facade, and compares that to how much he does with Hoot Hoot's Nightshade. He sees that Nightshade is more damage, so he decides to send out Hoot Hoot. Once I learned about how this worked, I was able to figure out some solid lines for these fights. I was pleasantly surprised at which Pokemon popped off during this section. Sid was solid against any opponent with setup, since he completely ignored their buffs and usually beat them in 2 hits. Freya was also fantastic due to her great typing and being the only thing in my box that could outspeed and one-shot this annoying huge power Azurill. I'm not gonna lie, I got attached to her during the split. And then there's Sephiroth, who is easily the best mon for this route. He got so many kills on these trainers with Drill Run. I'm so happy he crit that Cranidos back on Rourke. Things were going well, and I only had one trainer left until I beat this section deathless. All that needed to happen was for this Doduo to click high jump kick on Chestnut as I switched into Hojo to kill it. What? Why? Why did he click that? It turns out that in Platinum Kaizo, some recall moves like Brave Bird have been altered, so they now have the same special AI as the move Superpower. This means they are not calculated for damage, therefore the AI can always go for them, even when I resist that attack, like with Macargo and Brave Bird. The only way to prevent this is to give the AI a kill with another move, or KO them before they can attack. The funny thing is, weeks ago, I had read about this in the devs Discord server, but I forgot about it because it was listed with like 12 other moves. I almost had a deathless route, but the Doduo got me. That was Hojo's first fight, by the way. He never even got to do anything. I've reached the turn of Forest, where the gimmick is most of the time you're teaming up with this woman Cheryl in tag battles. I use this to my advantage to go for 2 encounters in the grass. I get Shroomish and Octowl, which is incredible, because I really need a better grass type for Gardenia than my minus attack Bayleaf. I catch the Shroomish, who I name Aerith after the best character in FF7. The fights here are tricky to plan for because Cheryl is not a reliable partner most of the time. Her lead Chansey has pathetic damage output and likes to do some really stupid things. Cheryl, you're almost at full HP. Why are you clicking soft-boiled? These criminals are trying to murder us. Thankfully, once the Chansey goes away, the rest of her team is actually helpful at fighting the Galactic Grunts. I assumed I would have to do most of the work in these battles, but at least the AI is 50-50 to target her. And you and Cheryl have 12 Pokemon together, while the trainers only have 6. This allows you to target down 3 of them on one side to make the fights into a 2v1 that are easy to win. These tag battles surprisingly went pretty well for me. Even the annoying ones like the Hail fight were fine. Eterna Forest is littered with Team Galactic, but you get to choose which guns you want to fight, and you only need to clear 6 of them. 2 of these fights are traditional single battles. Now I thought these would be easier than teaming with Cheryl, but things immediately went wrong for me when Baltoy was unexpectedly sent out against Lulu. I assumed it would be Sudowoodo here, because coughing using Woodhammer is the highest damage move on Lulu. I was so confused why Baltoy was chosen. It turns out that during Step 2 of the post-KO Switch AI, Self-Destruct and Explosion are included in the calculations. I thought this was impossible, since those moves have special AI during battles, where they are never checked for damage. This is the one exception to that rule, and it completely ruins my plan for this trainer, where I baited Baltoy last, and the AI could not click Explosion because it's his final Pokemon. Now we can either Earth Power, or Boom 10% of the time. I don't have a switch that covers both moves, especially if either one crits. After some careful thinking, I decided that Quistis is my best bet, because if he clicks Earth Power, he will usually see kill with Exosensory the following turn, and even if he explodes on me, Dustox isn't a terrible loss. Okay. I think I'm always dead. Well. I'm sorry, Quistis. Both my bug poison types are now dead, and what makes those deaths frustrating is they could have been avoided. I lost those Pokemon due to my lack of game knowledge. I guess I got a little unlucky as well, but I can't use that as an excuse. At least I learned something about the AI from these losses. I was tilted going into the next fight, and I made the crucial mistake of forgetting that Stunky can burn Freya with Flamethrower. I can no longer two-shot it, so I decided to switch into Ultros as I get hit by another explosion. Due to my Intimidate, I thankfully wasn't dead unless he crit me, but once again, this disrupts my plan for the fight. Ultros was supposed to take down Carnivine, but I have no HP left, so I'm forced to use Tidus instead, who immediately gets hit by a Sleep Powder. And then the Grunt clicks Swallow that does a lot more than I expected. Tidus misses the wake up chance on turns 2 and 3, while Swallow drags down his HP. I can't even switch him out, since Swallow is a trapping move. The worst thing is, I need this guy if I want to beat Gardenia, so the fate of the whole run hinges on him waking up and killing the Carnivine. It feels hopeless. Don't crit. Please, just wake up. Yes! Oh my god, man. Another close call. I realize I need to lock in here if I want this run to survive. The last fight of the forest is against Galactic's Terra and Luna, who have 8 Pokemon in total. It's a really awkward fight to plan for, with lots of sleep moves, Pursuit AI, and the potential for boosts with Ominous Wind and Ancient Power. You basically have to target down the Smeargle side, because it's too much of a threat with Dark Void and Ominous Wind. Cheryl went crazy this fight by dodging the Dark Void to kill the Focus Sash Smeargle, one-shotting the Meditite with Shadow Ball, and putting the Haunter to sleep for me so I could take it out with Lulu. Once the battle was a 2v1, it was pretty comfortable, and I was able to make it out deathless. I can't believe I had more difficulty with the 2 single battles in the forest than the tags. I say goodbye to Cheryl and set my sights on Gardenia. My box is still looking bad for the fight, so I decide to Rock Smash for my last 2 encounters of the split in the hopes of getting Ariados to improve my odds of victory. First I get Lediba, who is absolutely terrible for the fight. Then I get Aron, who is amazing, but can't help me here. I never get the Rock Smash encounters I want. Eterna City's gym has 2 gimmicks to it. It's Impermanent Rain, diluting the power of Fire-type moves. And the 3 gym trainers have to be battled in a gauntlet using the same team. It's not too difficult, especially with Tidus, who single-handedly sweeps the first trainer. The second fight is actually in the sun, and this Gloom clicks Weather Ball into Renoa. I have the move Copycat, which has priority in this game, so I Uno reverse the Fire-type Weather Ball to one-shot him. I just thought that was cool and worth pointing out. The last fight is a little scary due to the super annoying Smeargle who paralyzed Lulu and a Focus Sash Breloom, but I was still able to beat it. Somehow Ultros 1v1 the Breloom, even though Poison Sting doesn't 2-shot. God, this Pokemon sucks. Let me explain why I've been so petrified of Gardenia. Her team is really difficult to counter. She has a super bulky Miltank, a Swift Swim Swords Dance Ludicolo, a freaking Rotom with Thunder in the Rain, a Filter Milotic with Hypnosis and Leftovers, and a thick fat Torterra. What a wild team. I can't believe the Grass-type gym leader has a Miltank and a Milotic. There are some amazing counters for this fight, like Wigglytuff, Ariados, and Nidoking for example, but I have none of those because this game hates me. So instead, I had to come up with a much riskier team that can barely win if I get lucky enough. This is easily the hardest fight so far. I don't think I can do it. With the rain drowning out my hopes and dreams, I enter the battle. I lead with Lulu against the Miltank, so she can get some experience before I switch into Chestnut. I'm able to burn the Miltank and 1v1 it by clicking Fire Spin and Recover, as she sets up rocks and Thunder Punches me. Once Miltank is defeated, Lulu, Chestnut, and Persian holding an EXP share all level up. Unfortunately, Chestnut is completely worthless for the rest of the fight, since everyone else on her team can kill it, especially after Stealth Rock damage. Ludicolo comes in next, and I switch to Adia. I have Swift Swim too, and I Mudshot the Ludi to drop her speed before she kills me. Tidus is now faster, and picks up the KO with Drill Peck. This baits in Rotom Mo, who in Gen 4 is always an electric ghost type. My plan is to split Zidane the Persian in on Thunder, who will chip him with Knockoff. Thanks to the level up on Miltank earlier, Zidane is only dead to crit, but if that happens, I wipe, because the rest of my team doesn't have the bulk to handle this guy at full HP, and deal with the rest of her team. Okay. One crit, if I get crit here, I wipe. There's just nothing I can do. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Okay. Zidane holds on, and I attack him before he takes me out. Tidus then returns, and finishes him off with Assurance. Gardenia sends a Milotic, and before the fight, I actually pre-damaged Tidus, so we would only be dead to Water Pulse here, instead of Icy Wind. I switch into Aerith, who gets confused by Water Pulse, but I have a Person Berry to counter this. Now even though Icy Wind is the most damage on me, I am slower, so for some strange reason, the AI won't click the move until she sees that it kills me. She will either click Water Pulse or HP Grass, and she sadly chooses the former, meaning I probably die the following turn to Icy Wind. This is going much worse than I expected. I need Aerith to hit her with multiple Bullet Seeds, or else I'm in trouble. Oh boy, okay, at least no confusion. Please just hit him 3 times. Oh man, this is terrible. I think I have a chance to kill. Oh my god, Breloom, you were the GOAT, okay. Oh man, I probably should have gone Miracle Seed, okay. Roserade is sent out, and she can click random move on me since my HP is so low that she sees a KO with every attack. I would really like her to choose Extra Sensory, since this is not a great matchup for Lulu, even though I have a level advantage. She actually does click the move, and now I just need Lulu to hit a range to kill her. Zen Headbutt. Don't confuse me. Please don't confuse, or crit. Come on. Okay. Come on, get him, get him, get him. Hit the range. Oh, okay. That's so bad. Okay. Oh man. Frick. Okay. Can he switch? There's like no way. I have to click Extra Sensory. Don't confuse me or crit. Okay? The last Pokemon is Torterra, who usually kills me with Seed Bomb. I hit him with Signal Beam in the hopes of a high roll crit, which I don't get. However, he misses the range on me. Lulu can now save herself if she flinches with Zen Headbutt, and then Signal Beams on the last turn. Come on, Lulu, you can do this. Okay, we try to fraud him. We click Zen Headbutt. If I flinch, I get out of this. Come on. Okay. Sorry Lulu, you still did an amazing job this fight. Tidus is able to revenge kill the Torterra, and that's Gardenia. I now have 2 gym badges in the hardest Pokemon game ever. 3 deaths here is unfortunate, but I had a rough box for this fight. Regardless, I'm really proud of how I've been playing this whole time, and it's great that I've been enjoying myself. Hype moments and crazy plans like these are why I love Pokemon. Platinum Kaizo truly is an amazing game. I hope you had a fun time hearing about my playthrough of it and learning more about the experience. With that being said, that's all I've got for now. Sayonara.